Hey guys, I hope you're having a most excellent day in the life. On this day in the life, I am busy moving a lot of relics into this brand new clean house. And amongst those relics are quite a few dirty bottles that I have found while out relic hunting in creeks and streams. And so I'm going to spend some time tonight cleaning bottles, and I wanted to share some of that with you, some of the techniques that I've been reading about. And cleaning bottles is kind of a new experience for me as well, so this will be a good learning experience for myself and you guys, hopefully, as we clean up some of these bottles. I've got a little cross section of different styles and types of bottles with some different features on them to consider when you're cleaning bottles. So let's go in. We're going to start with the least invasive process for cleaning bottles, and that is soap and water. And that'll give us a good baseline to start and see how much further we need to go with each of these bottles. Okay, so here are the tools we're going to use to attempt to clean these bottles. First, we have just some white vinegar. The second chemical is the scrubbing bubbles. And we have some copper Scotch Brite pads. Now, if you're going to use these, make sure you use copper. The copper will not scratch the glass, so that's super important. If you get a regular Brillo pad, you're liable to scratch up your glass. And lastly, we have this brush here. Now, at Walmart, they call this a refrigerator brush, although I don't know where you stick this on the refrigerator. But anyway, these are the tools we're going to use to try and clean these bottles, and let's see how they do. Okay, first let's have a quick look at which bottles we're going to clean. First we have this new ice bottle, which you can't hardly even see what it says because of it's so dirty. But I really like the shape and the kind of art deco on this bottle. This is from, I think, the 30s. Secondly, we have a Kick Like a Mule, and for any of you guys who have ever played Call of Duty, you know the old mule kick is kind of modeled after this. I think this is a neat bottle as well, and it has this label on the outside, so it's going to have some special consideration to make sure that we don't wash that or scrub that label off, because that's basically the only identifier on this bottle is the label. Okay, the third bottle is this Dr. Pepper bottle. I really like this because it has the clock on it, the 10, 2, and 4, which is the 3 times a day you're supposed to have a Dr. Pepper. And that one shouldn't take too much cleaning, but we still do want to get all the dirt off of it before we can display it. And lastly, we have 2 older bottles. This is a cork top. It's got a little soap on it already. I already squirted some soap in here. And it's a pretty dirty bottle. It might take some special cleaning. And then we have this very last bottle. I'm not sure what kind of bottle this is, but I really like it. I found it digging around in an old barn. And again, this might take some special cleaning because it's so fragile. And it was a cork top. You can see how irregular that hole is there in the top. Really like that bottle. But it already has a crack in it, so I'm going to have to be real careful. Alright, let's clean these up with soap and water. So I'm going to let that soak for about 30 minutes, and we'll come back and do any scrubbing that we might need to do and see how far that gets them cleaned. Okay, these have soaked for about 30 minutes now. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a direct rinse and try and get any gunk that's inside of any of these bottles out. Okay, so as you can see, soap and water did okay for some of these bottles, while others still are very dirty after that process. So we got some more work to do on all these bottles. And if you didn't know, glass is porous. So a lot of this dirt is down in the pores of this glass, and it's going to take a significant amount more work to get out of here. So let's go ahead and move on to some other methods. Okay, so we're going to take our new icy bottle, drop it in. I'm going to go ahead and take the lid off of the Scrub and Bubbles, and I'm going to add about half of this container of Scrub and Bubbles. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that a good portion of this goes straight in the bottle. Okay, now I'm going to fill that with just enough water to cover the bottle over. Okay, so as you can see, that's nice and bubbly, and we're going to let that soak for maybe 20 minutes, see how it's doing, and we might go ahead and scrub on it some if it's not made enough progress when we get back. Switch cameras, the battery died on my big camera and the charger is back in Unaka Springs. But if you guys can see that actually did a pretty good job with just the bottle brush and the copper pad. So I'm happy enough with that. I think it'll pass Cassie Lee's inspection to get in the house. So let's go on and try a couple other bottles here. We've got this bottle, which is very gunked up. We'll go ahead and try the copper pad out on that, see how far we get, and we may have to soak this one in Scrub and Bubbles as well. So let's get on it. As you can see, a lot of this is on the outside, but there's also a lot of it still on the inside, which is going to take a significant amount more work. But I think we'll get a lot of this outside stuff off though with the copper pad pretty easily. Well, that made a big difference. So let's go on in with the brush, the long brush here, see if we can get any of that other stuff wiped clean in there. A lot of gunk from the creek. Actually, I think I found this in the river down where I found that cannonball last time. Really hard to get in there, and there's other baby bottle brushes and things like that which might work better than this. This is just what I saw in the store today to work with, so this is what we're using. Mr. Haney. This has been soaking in the Scrub and Bubbles. As you can see, it hasn't done a whole lot. I don't know how much of this is on the outside. It might be best to start on the outside of these bottles so you can assess how much cleaning you'll have to do to the inside. So let's go ahead and scrub this bad boy down. This bottle with the printing on it deserves some special consideration, because if I scrub this with the green pad, this is going to come off. So I am going to scrub this bottle some in the areas where there is no writing, try and clean it as much as I can that way. And then we're going to soak this one in vinegar, and hopefully it will do the job to clean it. That's it for that one. I'm going to try and let the vinegar do the rest. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pour vinegar into a couple of these and see if it will get rid of anything that the previous treatments have not. Now, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's like a white film, splotchy kind of film that has formed on this one. I don't know if the vinegar is going to get rid of that or not. Scrubbing with the copper pad would not get rid of that. So let's let that vinegar soak, and we'll pour it into a couple other of these bottles that we finished as far as we can. Okay, I don't know what you guys will be able to see of this because we're using the GoPro, but all of these bottles are significantly cleaner than when we started. I am least satisfied with the new icy bottle. There's still some dirt here around this area, and this is what I use the scrub and bubbles on. And in all honesty, I don't think the scrub and bubbles did much of anything to help cleaning these glasses. The most effective thing I found was actually that copper pad and just scrubbing away by hand, and the little brush. And as I said, I think there are bottle brush sets you can get for baby bottles that might have gotten into some of those nooks and crannies a little better. But at the bare minimum, I do have these bottles now at least to a displayable state, and a state where Cassie Lee will let me bring them into the house. So don't tell her I did that in the bathtub. She would really not be happy. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that little video on bottle cleaning. I hope you learned something. I know I certainly did, and it's going to affect how I clean bottles going into the future. Before I head out of here, I do want to say a huge thank you to every one of my subscribers who reached out and contributed towards the drone fund. So thank you guys so very, very, very much. I'm going to, this coming week, going to be packaging up some responses to each of you and some nice little packages to let you know how much I appreciate what you guys do for me. And it goes beyond the donations. It is the daily contributions that you guys make to my channel through interacting with me. And I can't thank you guys enough for not only that, but especially to all of you who reached out and are helping me get a new drone. We'll be in the air again soon, I promise. With that said, I hope you have a great evening. I hope you had a great day in the life. We'll see you tomorrow.